Hey, welcome back to the American Bi Guy series. I'm here, your boy, the American Bi Guy, and this week I want to talk about something that a lot of people don't ever want to talk about. And I'm going to call it out as a proponent and an advocate for bi rights and bi viability. And that is the LGBTQ community. First and foremost, there is no B in the LGBTQ community. There is no representation at all. If you are a bi man or bi woman, when you go into this community, thinking that you're going to be accepted and welcome in, you're going to find out that a lot of things. First, you're going to find out that, like I said before, people are going to come at you like, okay, well, you must be confused, or you're in denial, or I used to be like you, or give it time. All sorts of ridiculous notions come at you. And I'll be honest with you, when I talk about bisexuality with people from the straight community and the gay community, I have a lot easier time explaining it to people who identify as straight, straight-ish, and bi people. The gay community is, really kind of like dragging their feet, if not moving at all, on bi representation. And it's not just bi people, but also trans individuals as well. LGBTQ is there, but there seems to be some sort of lack of representation for bi and trans folk. Dave Chappelle actually had a stand-up comedy, I think Sticks and Stones, a couple months ago. He released, and he talked about, the bi and the trans people being in the backseat of a car, and he said that the gays and the lesbian are both in the front seat driving the car, and they're both looking at each other like, I don't like you. Well, like I said, going back to my point, there's zero representation there for bi people. And it's very ironic to me because, there's this whole movement, and I got into a conversation in a meeting the other day with a guy, at a bank, actually. We were the banker. We were having a conversation about some stuff. And he expressed to me, he said, man, it's great, what you're doing with the bi community, because I had shared some things that, what I was doing. And he said, I got a problem. I got a problem with individuals, who want me to call them, to not call them he or she pronouns. And, I told him right there, I was like, stop right there. I said, I know what you're trying to go here. And what I'm going to tell you guys is this. If you want to be called whatever you want to be called, or whoever, I will support you 100%. My motto's always been get by and be you. So if you want to be called Sarah, if you want to be called, I don't know, James or it or they, that's all fine and dandy. However, nobody wants to go out here and become some sort of poster child for not being a supporter of bi rights or gay rights or anyone's rights. Nobody wants that. And so please don't get mad at individuals if they, refer to you as, you really shouldn't be hearing it, because if they were to use a pronoun of he or she, you really wouldn't be around necessarily for that conversation, or you shouldn't be because they're referring to you as a pronoun. But there's this whole movement to rewire the English language and the human mind, to refer to people as it, they, and they, or whatever. And like I said before, I'm not here to knock anybody at all for their movement. But what I am going to say is that you have this far out there, identity, right? And that's totally fine, and that's great. But when it comes to something as simple as being bisexuality, there's zero movement on it. People looking at you like you're an alien, like you're a Martian or something, that you talking about, oh, you must be crazy, or so, or you're just in denial. And that comes primarily, what I found, from the LGBT community. It's very weird. So if you are a bi man or woman, the LGBTQ community is not a place for you. You don't have the space. As a man in America, you have to make a decision when you are bisexual. You have to say, am I going to live this life of the straight persona and do my thing on the DL, and I hate that term, but do my thing on the side, in the dark, or am I going to move over to the gay community and then be absorbed? Because what's going to happen is that as a bi man, you jump into the gay community, you're going to be absorbed in the gay culture. And you're going to likely lose your ability in American culture to date women. And then at the same time, take on a new culture or a new identity that that doesn't represent you. And so that's pretty much a choice you have. Straight and hide it, or go gay, and for the most part on the surface level, and then, hide my bisexuality. And that's a damn shame. And so that's why I have been slowly building a community of bi people, for bi representation, because at the same time, anytime you do find something that is there for bi people, it's always hypersexualized. People look at you like you are just some sort of like freak of the week or freak of the year, and that you are, out there. And I don't feel as though it's fair, because you have sex on the straight world, you have sex in the gay world. And for some reason, when you're in the B team, all of a sudden, you're hypersexualized. People don't take you serious. You're confused and everything else they want to attach to you. And so that's not the case. In my opinion, there are a lot more bi people in the world than there are gay or straight people. And so at the end of the day, it is what it is, but we need more representation. And so I'm doing my part as the American bi guy, and I have a lot of things going on with bi us. Right now, COVID's really put a halt on a lot of things, but at the same time, I'm moving forward. Bisexuality transcends different communities. It's not just everyday people you see, but it's sitting up there and, in the courtrooms, the judges, other lawyers, and even in Congress. Case in point, Andrew Gillum. In case anybody doesn't know who Andrew Gillum is, Andrew Gillum is a former mayor of Tallahassee, and he ran for the governor's race in 2018 in Florida, and he lost. However, he came out maybe about a month or two ago because he was found laying naked on the floor of a hotel room with a male escort. Andrew Gillum is a married man to a woman, has several kids, and I believe he came out on some talk show saying that yes, he identifies as bisexual. I'm sick and tired of people pretending that bisexuality doesn't exist, and I'm damn sure tired of black people acting like we can't be gay or bisexual, or that's not who we are. Anybody can be bisexual. Anybody can be gay. Anybody can be straight. Okay, you are who you are. And the black community has been dragging their feet for decades now and confronting it. Because we know that our HIV rate is through the roof, and we do not have these conversations. And so as a black, bisexual man, as the American bi guy, I'm going to have that conversation. Because I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're sitting in the pulpit of a church. I don't care if you're sitting on a football field somewhere or whatever. The thing is, people are bisexual, and we need to have the conversation so that way people can know that they're not alone. Because I did it for a very long time. I thought I was alone in the world as I traveled all over this country, going to 4 different schools and meeting all sorts of people. What I found is that people are bisexual, and we need more representation for bi people, especially within the LGBTQ acronym. And so I'm going to do my part. I encourage you to join me in my journey, and if not, hey, it is what it is. But like I said before, I'm bisexual, and it is what it is. It took me a long time to understand it, and as I move forward in my life, I continue to share with people my journey, and hopefully they'll be able to come forward and know who they are too. And until then, I'll see you guys next time on the American Bi Guy series.